There is a single word so powerful, so deeply charged with creation, that when spoken before sleep, it can alter the course of your reality. It's not a word of pleading or asking. It's not a word of hope or longing. It's a word that carries the vibration of completion, the feeling that your desire is already yours. Neville Goddard called this the hidden wealth code, not because it brings money by chance, but because it brings the state of having. And once you live in that state, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect it. So tonight, before you drift into sleep, I want you to understand what happens in that sacred moment, when the conscious mind quiets and the subconscious becomes the gatekeeper of your entire destiny. Because the moment you close your eyes and your body begins to sink into stillness, the word you choose to speak, the vibration you impress upon your inner self, becomes a command to the universe. It is the bridge between imagination and matter, between your wish and its manifestation. But before we reveal the word itself, you must understand why it works, and why Neville Goddard warned that if you speak from desire instead of fulfillment, you push your dream away instead of drawing it near. Neville often said, "The state you take with you into sleep is the state you will awaken in." Most people don't realize how literal this is. You don't fall asleep into a void. You fall asleep into a command. Every night, as your conscious mind loosens its grip, the subconscious, the fertile soil of creation, opens wide to receive your last thoughts, your last emotions, your last inner word. Whatever you impress upon it becomes a living seed, a pattern of vibration that the next day will unconsciously act itself out in your world. If you fall asleep in worry, you plant worry. If you fall asleep in fear, you plant fear. If you fall asleep in lack, you multiply lack. But if you fall asleep in fulfillment, you awaken in abundance. Neville called this entering the state akin to sleep. It's that sacred twilight between wakefulness and slumber, where imagination takes the throne. Your body may rest on the bed, but your spirit, your awareness, is alive and creating. And so, the word you speak in that state becomes the vibration that defines your next reality. It is not about repeating affirmations mechanically. It's about impressing your subconscious with the feeling of completion, the sense that what you desire already exists, and you are simply resting in it. Now, let's decode this. Neville's teachings were always layered in symbolism. He never gave magic words. He gave states of consciousness disguised as words. When he spoke of wealth, he never meant paper money. He meant the awareness of being provided for. When he spoke of prayer, he meant self-convincing imagination. When he spoke of God, he meant your own awareness. So, when Neville described the word that opens the door to abundance, he was referring to a vibration that matches the fulfilled end, a word that brings the mind and body into alignment with the already accomplished result. That word is thank you. But it is not the shallow, mechanical kind of thank you that most people say before bed out of habit. It is living gratitude. It is the vibration of divine satisfaction, the deep sigh that says, "It is done. I am already there." When spoken in the right consciousness, thank you is not gratitude for what has happened. It is gratitude for what is happening in the unseen. It's the language of faith. It's the code of completion. Neville said, "Feeling is the secret." And when you feel gratitude before the evidence appears, you are no longer trying to manifest. You are creating by being. Science has now proven what Neville taught decades ago. The subconscious doesn't respond to words, it responds to feeling states. It cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined reality and a physical one. When you speak the word thank you before sleep, your conscious mind releases resistance. Your nervous system relaxes. Your breathing slows. And in that surrender, your subconscious absorbs the frequency of completion. This is the same principle behind why gratitude raises your vibration instantly. You cannot be in gratitude and in fear at the same time. You cannot be in gratitude and in lack simultaneously. Gratitude closes the gap between you and your desire. It signals the subconscious that the manifestation has already occurred. And the subconscious, ever obedient, begins to reorganize your outer circumstances to reflect this new internal truth. Neville would call this living in the end. It means you feel, think, and sleep from the perspective of, it's already done. So tonight, when you close your eyes, whisper softly to yourself, "Thank you." But not as a prayer of begging, as a command of knowing. You see, every word you speak carries a frequency. But this one, "thank you," carries the highest vibration of all because it merges love and abundance into one frequency of having. Imagine for a moment that you've just received news that changes your entire life. A deposit has been made, a miracle has happened, a door has opened. What would your first instinctive emotion be? It wouldn't be disbelief. It would be a rush of gratitude. A spontaneous thank you from the heart. This is what Neville meant by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not trying to create the condition, but embodying the emotional frequency that proves it is already real. So, when you say thank you before sleep, you are entering that emotional state deliberately. You are sending a message to the subconscious. This is who I am now, the one who already has. And your subconscious, which controls your habits, behaviors, and perceptions, begins to align your life with that new identity. The next day, you'll notice small synchronicities, unexpected money, new opportunities, or simply a lighter energy. This isn't coincidence. It's resonance. Neville explained that once you enter the state of the wish fulfilled, life will unfold through what he called a bridge of incidents. That means the universe will rearrange people, events, and circumstances to bring your assumption into physical expression. But here's what most people miss. The bridge doesn't begin after you fall asleep. It begins because of how you fall asleep. When you drift into sleep with the words "thank you" echoing softly in your mind, and your heart full of peace, you are walking across that invisible bridge. You are moving into the dimension where your desire already exists. You may not see it instantly, but the current of your life has already changed direction. Neville said, "Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live." And that's what this nightly practice does. It changes your conception from "I am lacking" to "I am provided for." So many people pray in desperation, not realizing that their very prayer is rooted in separation. They ask because they believe they don't have. But the universe only echoes back the frequency you send. When you say thank you, you're not asking, you're commanding. You're declaring that the state of abundance is already yours. Before you try this tonight, take a few quiet minutes to prepare your space. Dim the lights. Let the noise of the day fade away. Lie down and let your body become still. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale slowly through the mouth. Now bring to mind one desire, not 10, not a list, just one. It could be financial freedom. It could be healing. It could be peace of mind. See it clearly in your imagination, not as something you want, but as something that already is. If it's wealth, imagine yourself checking your bank balance and seeing the number that represents freedom to you. If it's love, feel the warmth of companionship next to you. If it's health, feel vitality flowing through your body. Don't overthink it. Feel it. And then, when your heart feels full, simply whisper, "Thank you." Whisper it again, softer this time. "Thank you." Let the word sink into your being until you can almost feel it vibrating through your chest. Let your breath slow. Let your mind dissolve into the feeling of already being blessed. Fall asleep in that state. As you drift off, something remarkable begins to happen. Your brainwaves shift from beta to alpha to theta. In theta, your subconscious becomes hypersensitive to suggestion. This is the same state used in hypnosis, deep meditation, and manifesting rituals across every culture on Earth. Your word, "thank you," becomes a carrier wave, impressing your subconscious with a message that your reality has already changed. In the unseen realm of energy, that vibration begins to reorganize your timeline. Circumstances, people, and opportunities you could never consciously predict begin to align themselves like puzzle pieces. And by the time you wake up, the process has already begun. You might feel lighter. You might notice unexpected clarity or sudden inspired ideas. That's the subconscious sending guidance from the new state you've assumed. From a quantum viewpoint, this isn't mystical at all. Every possibility already exists as a potential reality, each vibrating at its own frequency. When you feel gratitude before something happens, you're tuning your consciousness to the timeline where it already exists. That's why Neville said, "Imagination is reality." In the quantum field, gratitude collapses the probability wave of lack and anchors you in the vibration of abundance. That's the hidden code, not the word itself, but the state of consciousness behind it. You are not attracting wealth from the outside. You are aligning your frequency with the dimension where wealth already belongs to you. And the bridge that connects these realities is that one simple word: thank you.